She agreed too quickly. That was the first mistake, though she wouldn't call it that until much later. When her mother said, "This year's not a good time. Maybe next one." It came wrapped in the language of logistics, too much going on, people coming and going, schedules misaligned. The words were soft. The meaning wasn't. She heard it anyway, felt it settle like a small weight behind the ribs, and answered with the voice she'd practiced for years. "Of course. No problem." She hung up and stood in the kitchen for a moment longer than necessary, staring at the calendar where the holiday had already been circled in green marker by one of the kids. She erased it carefully, then wrote home instead. The children accepted the change with the resilience of people who are used to adults smoothing disappointment into something manageable. They still picked sweaters. They still helped wrap gifts. She told herself this was fine. Families did different things different years. It didn't have to mean anything. On the afternoon of the holiday, the house smelled like cinnamon and something warm in the oven. The kids sat on the couch, dressed and waiting, hands folded in their laps, as if something else were about to happen. She told them they'd open presents after dinner. They nodded, solemn and patient. Her phone buzzed on the counter. She ignored it at first. Then again, when she finally glanced over, it wasn't a message but a notification: "Brother is live." She didn't tap it right away. There was a moment, small, almost invisible, where she could have chosen not to know. She made a different choice. The screen filled with motion and sound. Lauder spilled out, bright and unfiltered. There was the dining room table she recognized, expanded to its leafed-out limit. There was the turkey, golden and whole. There were her parents, glasses raised. Someone sang badly into a microphone. Someone else clapped. It took her a second to locate the kids on the couch in her own living room, the reflection of the screen flickering across their sweaters. They weren't watching. They were waiting. She turned the volume down until the laughter became a pantomime. The word "busy" rearranged itself in her mind into something sharper. This wasn't a cancellation. It was a selection. Her chest tightened, not with anger yet, but with a cold clarity. The internal debate rose quickly. Call and ask, send a text, demand an explanation. All the old instincts lined up, ready to perform. She didn't choose any of them. Instead, she picked up her phone and took a picture of the coffee table. The gifts sat there in neat stacks, names written carefully, corners tucked just right, evidence of preparation. Evidence of expectation. She typed one sentence. "These won't be needed." She sent it without punctuation that might suggest emotion. Then she put the phone face down. Dinner happened. It wasn't elaborate. They laughed when something burned slightly, invented a game with paper napkins, sang a song off key. The waiting loosened into something else. Not joy exactly, but presence. She kept her voice steady. She kept her eyes level. 42 minutes later, the knock came. It wasn't tentative. It was loud, insistent, the sound of someone accustomed to doors opening when they arrived. She looked through the window first. Her father stood on the porch, coat unbuttoned, jaw set. He was already mid-argument, rehearsing aloud. She opened the door partway, stepping outside and pulling it closed behind her. What the hell was that message? He demanded, voice carrying. He gestured back toward his car, toward the neighborhood. "You embarrassed us." She noticed distantly a curtain move across the street. "I didn't embarrass anyone," she said. Her voice surprised her. It was even. "I stated a fact." He scoffed. "You could have handled this privately." "I did," she said. "I didn't comment. I didn't post. I didn't call during your party. That was your mother's decision," he snapped. "You know how things get." She held his gaze. "My kids were dressed and waiting." There it was. The line she hadn't planned but had known existed. He opened his mouth, closed it. Tried again. "So what? You're punishing everyone now?" "I'm protecting my children," she said. "And I'm not doing this on the porch." He raised his voice. She didn't match it. That was the moment the balance tipped. Not dramatically, not with triumph, but with the unmistakable shift that happens when noise meets boundary and finds nothing to push against. "Go home," she said. "We'll talk another time." He stared at her as if waiting for her to bend, to soften it, to add a qualifier. When she didn't, his anger scrambled, looking for somewhere to land. It didn't find her. He left without another word. Inside, the kids looked up. She smiled, small and real. "Everything okay?" one asked. "Yes," she said. "Everything's okay?" Later, after they were asleep, the quiet pressed indifferently. Her phone filled with messages she didn't open right away. Accusations dressed as concern. Shock masquerading as hurt. No one asked about the children. She lay awake and felt the cost settle in. This wasn't a clean ending. It wouldn't be. Holidays would carry this shape now, this absence. There would be consequences she couldn't yet name. But there was also something else, steadier than guilt. A knowledge that when the moment came, when laughter on a screen threatened to rewrite reality, she had chosen her children without spectacle. In the morning, they opened the gifts anyway. The wrapping paper piled up. Someone laughed too loudly. Someone spilled juice. It wasn't the holiday she'd imagined. It was smaller, quieter, honest, and that, she decided, would have to be enough.